Part 2. When they saw me, they looked dumbfounded. A flicker of surprise flashed in Lennox's face as he asked in puzzlement, "Are you sick? Why are you at the hospital alone?" Before I could answer and stepped in, "Kelly, don't take your health lightly just because you're still young. No matter how busy you are at work, you have to take care of yourself. Don't let Lennox worry about you." Her tone carried a sense of concern, but beneath it lay a subtle distance I couldn't ignore. I pressed my lips together and agreed by humming, "I've already had my checkup. I just need to grab my medication, and then I can leave. You two should go ahead with your prenatal exam." Lennox's eyes filled with concern as he started toward me, but I tugged him back. "Lennox, it's almost our turn. Let's go in," she said, feigning discomfort as she rubbed her belly. "I don't know if it's because I've been overthinking lately, but my stomach hasn't been feeling great. I'm worried it might affect the baby." She emphasized the word baby, and the worry in his eyes dissipated instantly. Instead, guilt replaced it as he said, "Kelly, you should head home first. I'll come find you after I finish the checkup with Anne." I remember when his brother was still alive, he always addressed Anne as sister-in-law, with utmost respect. Now though, he called her name with such familiarity. As I looked at the family of 3, I couldn't help but realize how much of an outsider I had become. The man who once vowed to love me forever no longer held me in his heart. I recalled the times when he always put me first no matter what happened. A wave of bitterness welled up in my chest as I choked out, "All right, you two go ahead." On the way home, I stared out the car window at the familiar scenery flashing by. My mind replayed scenes from our past when we were always by each other's side. I had known Lennox since high school. Back then, he was my desk mate. He was a quiet, studious bookworm, while I was lively and mischievous kid. Since my parents were often busy with work, they were worried I couldn't take care of myself. They made me live on campus. I hated the cafeteria breakfasts, so I always pestered him to bring me food from outside. He would sigh in exasperation but always indulged me. This went on for 3 years. After high school, we naturally chose the same university. Having been classmates for so long, I couldn't help but gravitate toward him in the unfamiliar environment by seeking comfort and support from him. I relied on him for everything, and he never seemed to tire of helping me. My mom often scolded me. She said it wasn't right to trouble others so much. I shrugged off her words and relayed them to Lennox. At the time, he put down his pen and said nonchalantly, "Do you really think I'm some kind of pushover? Kelly, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't bother with you at all." His feelings for me were never hidden, and I had known from the very beginning, so I shamelessly basked in his kindness. When we finally got together, his love became even more unrestrained. With him around, I felt carefree, as if nothing in the world could ever trouble me. Knowing how much he had done for me, my mom used to joke that the hardest thing I'd ever faced in life was going to work. However, now I realized she was wrong. The hardest thing I ever faced wasn't work. It was the fact that the man I loved married someone else, and I was the last one to know. Tears blurred my vision as I recalled those memories, and by the time I realized it, my face was already soaked with tears. The taxi driver noticed and handed me a tissue. "Young lady, there's no hurdle you can't overcome. Keep moving forward and good fortune is waiting for you just ahead." I accepted the tissue and thanked him through my sobs. After paying the fare, I was about to call a friend to vent when I absent-mindedly opened my social media feed. That's when I saw Anne's latest post from just 5 minutes ago, and posted a picture of an ultrasound picture and one of Lennox lowering to examine a medical report. The caption read, "Baby, hurry up, come out. Your mommy and daddy can't wait to see you." When I scrolled down the post, I noticed that the first one to comment was Lennox's mother. She wrote, "Grandma is very excited too. I can't wait to see my first grandson." The comment section was flooded with replies from the Green family. It was evident from their words that they all knew about Lennox's marriage to Anne. I thought back to the day I visited the Green family a few days ago. They treated me so warmly then, and now it all felt like a sick joke. I could not help but wonder, were they secretly laughing behind my back when I was talking about our wedding plan to the Green family? My boyfriend was already married to someone else, and there I was blissfully planning a sham wedding. I raised my hand, wiped the tears from my eyes and went home. Before the wedding date between me and Lennox had been set, the Green family had already sent the customary gold jewelry and bridal gifts. Once I got home, I packed everything they had given me into a cardboard box. After that, I would sever all ties with the Green family. Following the abortion, my body was weak. I took a few days off work to rest. One afternoon, while I was half asleep, I vaguely sensed someone approaching. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw a familiar face. It was Lennox. He raised his and touched my hand. Realizing it was cold, he looked worried. "Kelly, are you sick? Let me take you to the hospital for a checkup, okay?" If this had been before, I would have thrown myself into his arms to seek comfort and warmth from him. However, now, I pulled my hand away from his, tucked it under the blanket and said, "It's just a minor cold. There's no need to go to the hospital." Lennox didn't notice my lack of enthusiasm. He shook his head in exasperation. "If you were feeling unwell, why didn't you tell me? We're about to get married, so why are you keeping things from me?" When I heard the word married, it jolted me awake like a splash of cold water. Married? Oh right, he had got married. I glanced at the cardboard box in the corner and spoke softly. "That's right. Since we're getting married soon, you should take your things with you today." Although he and I did not live at my place, he would occasionally stay over for some period of time, so there were quite a few of his belongings at my place. And on the day I returned from the hospital, I had packed all his things. Lennox, oblivious to the shift in my tone, smiled warmly. "All right, besides after the wedding, we'll be moving into the new house anyway." I did not say anything. That evening, he made me a comforting bowl of hot vegetable beef soup with boiled eggs before leaving with his belongings. As he stepped out, I said quietly, "Don't come over again for the time being. I'm sick and don't want to risk infecting you. Stay home and focus on becoming the most handsome groom." He gave me a resigned smile but agreed nonetheless. In the following days, He didn't visit, but still texted me regularly. I replied with brief, perfunctory messages. Time flew by and soon the wedding day arrived. I didn't put on the wedding dress Lennox had designed for me, nor show up at the venue to embrace the future I had once dreamed of immediately. Instead, I purchased a high-speed train ticket to Levington State. Just before boarding, I received a call from the hotel staff. "Miss Thomas, when will you be arriving?" I forwarded Anne's photo to them and replied, "This is the real bride. I was just helping her rehearse. Please find her, help her get dressed and do her makeup." After the call, I methodically blocked and deleted every single way to contact Lennox. Then, I removed my SIM card, tucked it into my bag, and let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. For the first time in weeks, I felt free. I whispered, "Lennox, I wish you a memorable day."